With America's political tensions higher than ever, a new documentary features an unlikely bond across an ideological chasm. A liberal public defender is assigned to represent pro-Trump January 6th rioters in court. It is not a court procedural here. This is a portrait of humanity. Here's a quick look.
We had an immediate connect because I have blue hair and he has blue hair.
Well, the first thing I thought was, oh man, she worked for El Chapo's mistress before. Man, I'm in good hands.
Calm yourself down, okay?
The judges have made it very clear that the January 6th defendants, they're not being sentenced for their political opinions.
Yeah.
I would just like him to be a little cynical about how he got this information and what made him come to Washington.
The film is Public Defender, and joining us now is one of the executive producers of that film, Richard Schiff, here on The Race with all the wonks, probably best known for his iconic role as Toby Ziegler on The West Wing. Richard, we're so glad to have you. The central figure in this film, Heather Shaner, she's a defense attorney, and it's about her relationship with this J6 rioter. What's special about them?
What's special about Heather, or about the defendants? Well, what's special? Yeah, I have a stepfather who actually just was offered the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He was a civil rights lawyer. He was also the speechwriter for Martin Luther King, and has spent his life fighting for justice. And we once had a very long talk about certain defendants that he would defend. Some in certain, we would say mobsters, you know, and other characters who were undesirables, you might say. And he said, once due process, once you lose due process, you lose freedom. Once you lose Miranda and all the things that this system has put in place to keep people, to keep the justice system honest, if you will, then you lose your freedom. And the fact that this woman is willing to go beyond the call of duty to not only defend people that might be considered heinous by certain parts of the community, but that she does it with such compassion, and that she does it with such ferocity, and that she, with such humanity, that she makes these connections and develops relationships with people that otherwise she would never meet, and is outside of the political spectrum. It's quite phenomenal to me. I think it's extraordinary.
And probably the flip side, too, that these folks, the defendants, would never meet someone like her. And a few themes run through the film, you know, country over self, duty before ideology. What was the team trying to get across?
Well, that...
All right. Good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What's that? Some connection. I'm getting some interference. Some connection of the truth, a seeking of the truth is what's ultimately going to reconnect people that have such great divisions and such great political adversity and animosity. And I often feel that we don't give each other the benefit of the doubt, that either we feel that they've been misinformed or we've been misinformed, and we tend to follow the path of ideology that we've been indoctrinated all our lives. I grew up in a liberal environment. It's no shock that I have liberal leanings. Someone else has been indoctrinated in a very conservative or religious indoctrination, and they're going to think and feel that way and be pulled that way by whatever they see on social media. But we forget that we have very common interests, that we both can be baseball fans and football fans of the same teams, that we both, want to take care of our kids in the best possible way, and so on. And what Heather was able to do and show us in this documentary is how possible it is to connect with people and develop a real bond with people who might be ideologically completely on the other side of the spectrum, and then find a common ground. And it's a cliche, but it's so important, and many of us don't follow that path, and we jump to this to our side, and the other side is the other side, and we get further and further divided. And this film shows how it's possible to not necessarily have to do that. We do have a common ground, and we do share some humanity with each other. And if we express it and we connect with each other, we have a better chance of surviving in this democracy.
Which is beautiful. That understanding, you may not become a sympathizer, but you may have a little compassion and maybe that connection. And I got to tell you, while I have you here, throughout this election, I've thought about Toby so many times in 2024, sitting in his office, bouncing a ball against the wall, driving Sam crazy, trying to craft the message that speaks to our hopes and our dreams and our fears and anxieties and everything. Any words for us tonight as we're 4 days out from the election?
From Toby? You'd have to ask Aaron Sorkin. I think he would be really, really worried and fiercely upset. But I think he would hold the line and fight every last possible inch to save what's left of the fundamental pillars of this democracy, and go out and scrounge up the votes that will make that happen. I think he believes that as morose as he might have been at times, and as dark as he might have been at times, I think he's got a great feeling for hope that better things are ahead for this country, and I think that he'd be praying for that and fighting for that, and asking anyone who will listen to do the same.
Well, it's wonderful to hear the words of Richard Schiff, because I also want to thank you while you're here for In Excelsis Deo, the best episode of TV ever in my book about love and country and humanity. And that's what this new movie is really all about, too. Thank you, Richard.
Oh, very, very much so. And I appreciate those words. And thank you for having me.
And everyone, you can watch Public Defender. It makes its world TV premiere as part of our In Real Life series this Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Scripps News. We're proud of it. We'll be right back.